Boost your career, business, and everyday life.
ChatGPT's new search tool is out, but that was actually kind of scooped by Google. Meta's Llama model is reportedly being used by the Chinese military. Microsoft and Google are experiencing AI delays. Anthropic isn't. They keep shipping, and ChatGPT won't be shipping GPT anytime soon. Yeah, a lot going on in AI news this week, as always, and we're going to get you caught up right now. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jordan Wilson, and I'm the host of Everyday AI. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. If you're listening on the podcast, appreciate you. As always, make sure to check out your show notes for more on all of today's stories that we're going to be recapping. Live stream audience, thank you. It's great to see you. I'm actually in a different country in Australia right now on an anniversary with my wife. So, who knew? Shout out to Sydney. Apparently, I was checking our podcast stats. Sydney is the #1 city all time. So thanks for kind of keeping with today's audio and video issues. Not going to be the best. Trying very hard, but coming to you live-ish in the hotel room here. So sorry if there's a little bit of an echo, but enough of that. Let's just get into what actually matters and going over the AI news. And like I said, if you haven't already, please go to youreverydayai.com. Sign up for the free daily newsletter. We will be recapping all of these stories. All right, let's get straight into it. That first story, ChatGPT has introduced its enhanced web search capability for users. So ChatGPT has just rolled out an upgraded search feature that allows users to receive timely answers with links to relevant web sources, significantly improving the user experience. So the new search functionality is available to ChatGPT Plus and Teams users, with plans to extend access to free tiers in the coming months. So the feature enables users to ask questions conversationally and receive responses that may include information sourced from the web, making it easier to obtain accurate and relevant answers. And then follow-up questions will be considered in the context of the entire chat, allowing for deeper engagement and more tailored responses. So this is essentially what we heard of a while back when we heard of this Search GPT. So when OpenAI released that, they did say Search GPT was a prototype, and what was just released does not look exactly like this, but it does look like a much improved version of OpenAI's older Browse with Bing search. So the new ChatGPT search, I've used it. I'm sure many of you have as well. If you haven't used it, it really just kind of looks and feels a little more like Google, right? So that's what I think OpenAI is really making a huge play for, because here's what people don't understand. Right now, you do not even need an account to use ChatGPT. You don't need to be logged in. You can literally just go to chatgpt.com and start using it. So you can't use this new ChatGPT search that way. Again, right now, you have to have an account, and it needs to be a paid account. But I think this is where OpenAI is actually headed right now. I don't think they're trying to compete with Perplexity necessarily. I think they're actually trying to compete with
This podcast radio thing, the app, it's got ads, man, heaps of it, really bad. But it works the way you want it. But ads are bad, bro.
Google. I think it's a smart play, because the new ChatGPT search is really, really good. So feedback from global publishers so far has been instrumental in shaping this feature, emphasizing the importance of maintaining journalism's core values and integrity. So that's another big piece here. OpenAI has a lot of deals with publishers that is allowing them to source this material more quickly. So yeah, it is blazing fast. This is faster than Perplexity, and it is even faster than Google's AI search. So it's very impressive to see what OpenAI has done so far with ChatGPT search. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this a lot more. All right. Well, they actually kind of got scooped by this, though, because Google, literally right before this, they launched their real-time search for Gemini AI, setting the stage for some intense competition in the AI-powered search. So Google has introduced real-time search capabilities, but for its Gemini AI platform, not for its Gemini chatbots. So the new feature is called Grounding with Google Search, and it enables developers to enhance their AI applications with current information sourced directly from Google Search. So like I said, this is not the same thing as ChatGPT search or Perplexity. This is for developers who are already maybe using Gemini, but to get real-time access to Google search, which I think is huge, right? But again, if you're just using AI chatbots as a front-end user, or if your company maybe uses the Gemini API, but you don't need real-time search, this may not impact you. However, if you are using the Gemini API, or maybe you want to learn it, and you also need real-time access to Google, this is huge. So you have to give your kind of tip your hat to Google. I've been saying this for a very long time. I'm not impressed at all with their Gemini chat, but their back-end tools for developers, fantastic. So this new grounding with Google search, pretty cool. So the service right now is priced at $35 per 1,000 queries. So kind of pricey, right? But reflecting the high computing costs associated with this real-time search functionality on top of the Gemini API. So Google's dynamic retrieval system scores queries based on their relevance to current events, with scores ranging from 0 to 1 to optimize cost and response time. So yeah, there's a little bit of handling on the front end there. So this integration comes at a critical moment as Google reported $49.4 billion in search advertising revenue in Q3, when they just reported their quarterly earnings, while also facing increasing competition from AI-driven initiatives. And like we said, OpenAI's recent launch of ChatGPT Search offers a consumer-focused approach, whereas this new grounding with Google Search is really offering a similar capability, but just for developers. So both companies have secured licensing agreements with major news organizations, although the details of these deals remained undisclosed, and it's not with all the publishers, right? Here's the big elephant in the room that mostly people aren't talking about, right? All these big large language model makers essentially just scrape all website content, not just those that they have licensing deals with. So it does seem like in some unofficial testing early on that they seem to prefer or to serve answers from those publishers that actually have the results. So a way you can test this, it's very unofficial. You can do a normal like Google search as an example and see which of these partnership players that maybe have a result on the first page of Google if you're searching for something, and then you can do that same search if you are using the grounding with Google search, or similarly do something like that with ChatGPT search, and you will see that OpenAI and Google are seemingly favoring these companies that they have licensing deals with, but that doesn't cover everything, right? So don't worry, if you're a publisher out there, your results are still going to be coming up on ChatGPT search and this new grounding with Google search. Hey, this is Jordan, the host of Everyday AI. I've spent more than 1,000 hours inside ChatGPT, and I'm sharing anything. I got that from the webinar. I would highly recommend the pages. Hey, live stream audience, let me know if you want to see maybe a tutorial on these new PDF features from Anthropic. We got so much news. So while Anthropic was announcing updates and just shipping, Google was announcing delays. All right, so Google has delayed its Project Astra AI launch until at least 2025. So Google's ambitious Project Astra, which was aimed at developing AI applications, 3.5 Sonnet new, and for a more PDFs, right? Even though they're not multimodal, technique by Google CEO Sundar Pichai during the company's Q3 earnings call. So Project Astra was showcased in a demo at Google's I/O Developer Conference in May of this year, highlighting its potential to enhance smartphone capabilities such as recognizing surroundings and answering questions. So essentially what this Project Astra was, it was what ChatGPT's live kind of voice assistant will be or could be once it gets video capabilities, right? So what they showed in the demo was, someone kind of walking around Google's office, asking questions about things on the desk, and it can, kind of use computer vision and see in real time. That's pretty interesting here that Google had yet another delay. You will also remember about a year ago, Google infamously kind of showcased some of these features, right? When it first launched its Gemini kind of chatbot, but then they kind of later said, or I guess everyone else kind of said like, hey, this isn't really true. This is not how it works. So Google did have a live working demo of Project Astra, which again, it can see in real time with video, and then it is a voice assistant that you can talk to. So it did appear to be a working demo in May at the I/O conference, yet we might not even get it in 2025. Yes, it says 2025 at the earliest. So it might not even be until 2026. So this is another page out of the Google playbook with, a shiny demo, lots of marketing. And then, you might get it in 3 to 6 months, or in this case, even longer. So pretty shocking that we might not even get it in 2025. So initial reports suggested that a consumer-focused agent experience was set to launch in December 2024, and it was capable of handling tasks like purchasing products and booking flights. However, we don't know if this report still holds true. We talked about this last week on our AI News That Matters segment. So we weren't sure if that is more similar to Claude's computer use, right? So more of a kind of agent that you run on your computer, or if this was supposed to be Project Astra. But now, at least according to Google's CEO, so from the source himself, we are not going to be getting Project Astra. So pretty interesting there. A lot of delays, and they're not the only one, because Microsoft also just delayed its I don't even know if we can call it a popular feature because it has not been released yet, but Microsoft has once again delayed its recall feature for Copilot Plus PCs until December. All right, so at least we have a timeline on this one. So Microsoft has announced another delay in the rollout of its recall feature for Copilot Plus PCs, which is now set to be previewed with Windows Insiders by December. So the recall feature, essentially, it is like history for your browser, but for everything, right? So anything that you do within Windows programs, it can kind of remember it, and then you can talk to it like you would a large language model. And there's when it was first announced, I think there was both a lot of optimism, but also a lot of skepticism, right? People are like, "Oh, this is a privacy nightmare," and I think Microsoft did a good job in addressing those concerns. But again, we are seeing more delays. So the recall feature was originally scheduled to be tested with Windows Insiders in October, but has, like we said, just been postponed till at least December for further refinement. So like I said, recall, it captures screenshots of user activity on Copilot Plus PCs, and it aims to enhance productivity by allowing users to search and retrieve their past actions. So the feature's development has been complicated by security issues, leading to an overhaul that included making recall an opt-in experience and ensuring a complete uninstall option for users. So yes, whether this was a kind of feature that was added or a security hole that Microsoft did plug, but now it is an opt-in feature, whereas before it was presumed to be a kind of a feature that was on for everyone, and then you had to turn it off if you did not want it. So Microsoft did clarify this a couple of months ago and say it is an opt-in experience, and also it does give the option for a complete uninstall for users. There's also been a little more confusion, with some mistakenly believing recall was being installed on all PCs running Windows 11, but that is not the case. It is just for those Copilot Plus PCs. So these are for the newer Copilot Plus PCs that have the very powerful CPUs, GPUs, and also the NPUs, which allows you to run kind of this edge AI or on-device AI. All right. So yeah, Microsoft made a ton of headlines this week. We just talked about two of them. Also, they just had some huge updates with GitHub Copilots. But here's one that I'm not maybe a fan of. So according to reports from Tech Radar, Microsoft is reportedly considering a rebranding of its AI features under the name Windows Intelligence, potentially aligning its strategy with Apple's branding choices when Apple decided to call their AI Apple Intelligence. So again, this is just according to reports from Tech Radar, so nothing official here yet. But references from an internal operating file suggest that AI features in Windows 11 may soon be grouped under a Windows Intelligence name, indicating a potentially strategic rebranding effort. So the name Windows Intelligence has been used by Microsoft in the context of cybersecurity, but this new application could signify a broader AI integration. By adopting a name similar to Apple's Apple Intelligence, Microsoft appears, according to reports, to be aiming to create a strong association between its operating system and AI capabilities in the mind of consumers. I'm going to go ahead and insert my opinion, right? Normally, I don't do this too much on our weekly AI News That Matters shows. I don't think this is needed. I don't. I think the Apple Intelligence moniker is kind of dumb, if I'm being honest. I don't think, because Apple was so late to the party, years after Microsoft, years after Google, years after ChatGPT, and Apple comes in and just, they say, oh, this is Apple Intelligence, right? And for the most part, yes, it does do some things on device, and it does so okay. nothing great, right? The best feature of Apple Intelligence so far is its integration with ChatGPT. So I don't think that Microsoft needs to rebrand its AI offerings under a Windows Intelligence. Not a huge fan. I personally like the word Copilot, right? That's where it's branded right now. I think that so many people out there are using this Copilot terminology to talk about or to describe an AI that you can work along with. However, so I get that Microsoft's kind of in a weird position with this, right? Because everyone's using Copilot to reference an AI, right? But I would say the majority of people, when you talk about AI and Copilot, you're thinking Microsoft, right? So it's almost like a Kleenex, right? You don't tell someone, hey, pass me tissue, pass me unnamed, what, right? You say Kleenex, whether it's a Kleenex or not. And I think that Microsoft has gotten to that point with its Copilot. So I'm not sure really why they would want to be moving away. Again, this is, they probably have dozens of people working on this project who know way more than I do, but not a huge fan. But the rebranding of Copilot, this isn't anything new, right? So we saw a complete rebrand if you're using Copilot on the web. So if you're using the free version of Copilot or the paid version, so not the biz chat, but otherwise you did see a completely new version of Microsoft Copilot, right? You saw a rebranded, completely new interface with the new voices. So yeah, we might see Microsoft continue in this direction. All right, AI agents at LinkedIn? Yeah, maybe. So LinkedIn has just launched an AI hiring assistant that they're hoping will transform the recruiting process. So LinkedIn has introduced its first AI hiring assistant, aiming to revolutionize the recruiting landscape by automating up to 80% of traditional recruiting tasks, which is wild. So the new AI hiring assistant is designed to streamline various recruiting tasks, from creating job descriptions to conducting interviews, freeing up valuable time for recruiters. So the tool builds on LinkedIn's previous features, enhancing the capabilities of its generative AI to offer personalized suggestions through conversational memory. So recruiters can input job descriptions, notes, and feedback, ensuring the AI's output aligns with their unique requirements. So concerns remain, though, that the increased reliance on AI could lead to bias and a lack of personal touch in candidate interactions, as seen in similar instances with other companies like Amazon. However, LinkedIn allows recruiters to selectively automate tasks, enabling them to maintain the human elements essential in recruiting. So the other thing, I mean, this is great. Also, pretty expected. LinkedIn has been pretty heavy on AI, given it is owned by Microsoft, right? However, don't fully understand this one either, because unless they are going to end up charging a ton for this, right? If you're going to automate 80% of traditional recruiting tasks, isn't this also going to cut down their revenue a lot? I mean, I'm sure they've thought this through, but think of this. Let's say you have a team. Let's say you're a big recruiting agency, right? And you have a team of 100 recruiters, right? Is this only going to automate 80% of all of those recruiters' jobs, or might you only need 20 of them in theory if this works out? So, I like the push here by LinkedIn, because I think so many of these tasks in recruiting, right? I've spent so much time recruiting people to small businesses that I own, as well as companies that I've worked with in the past. So I understand that a lot of this is mundane and it should and can be automated. But to say that you can automate up to 80%, I mean, you have to think like, okay, is this either going to be terribly expensive, right, once it's kind of fully rolled out, or just, might you have to, if you have a team of 100 recruiters, maybe is your team going to be 50, or maybe is it only going to be 20, right? So it's kind of weird, right, that LinkedIn is hoping to automate a big part of its marquee software, right? LinkedIn Premium, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, LinkedIn Recruiter, right? So yeah, interesting move. So we'll have to see how this one pans out once it fully comes to market. All right, our next news story for this week. China is leveraging Meta's Llama model for military AI development, raising security concerns. So recent reports from Reuters indicate that Chinese researchers linked to the People's Liberation Army have adapted Meta's Llama model for military applications, highlighting the ongoing global competition in artificial intelligence. So a June paper from 6 researchers associated with the Academy of Military Science detailed the creation of ChatBit or ChatBit, I'm not sure which one it is, in AI. I think it's actually BIT, an AI tool based on an early version of Meta's Llama model, specifically tailored for military intelligence and operational decision making. So ChatBIT reportedly outperformed other AI models, achieving capabilities comparable to OpenAI's ChatGPT-4, although the researchers provided limited details on its performance metrics and operational status. Meta has stated that any military use of its open weights models by the PLA is unauthorized and contradicts its acceptable use policy, which prohibits applications in military, warfare, and espionage contexts. So despite these restrictions, Meta acknowledges the challenges of enforcing its policies due to the public availability of its models, which has led to concerns about the potential misuse of open source AI technology. Yeah, so I think we've kind of known that this has been going on for quite some time, but not specifically, right? I think anyone that reads a lot of AI news, or like myself, that gets to talk to very smart people, right? We all know that these open source models are being used for bad purposes. Sometimes there's exacts, sometimes there's not, right? So here, this exclusive report from Reuters, a little scary, right? That China has been using this for these open models for military purposes. So this does raise some concerns on ways that you can better track how these models are being used and for what purposes. And I mean, we might see in the same way that the US government has recently enforced some restrictions on companies exporting GPUs as an example, we might see some similar restrictions on, exporting models. And I know that may not make sense now, right? But think back in the day of, downloading music, right? And, you could ban IPs or something like that. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a move from the US government sometime soon, because as Meta's models specifically get better and better and better, these closed and proprietary models, you have so much more control over knowing who's using them and who's not, right? Because in theory, the companies know that. But at a certain point, right, when these open source models, they get forked, they get fine-tuned and re-uploaded, right? So that is the nature of an open, open source, open weights. I know Meta is not truly open source, but with an open weight model, it just keeps being built upon, right? It's almost like a cup of water, right? If you keep pouring it in 10 different glasses, pretty soon you're gonna, forget where it came from, which is problematic, right? So that is the downside and the ugly side of these models that are very open, is it can end up in the bad hands that you don't want it into, such as U.S. kind of enemy forces in these Chinese military operations. All right, and our last AI news story of the day. Didn't see this one coming, but OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman in a Reddit Ask Me Anything session discussed, well, just about everything. But one of the biggest thing here was discussing the GPT-5 timeline in some future AI releases. So in a recent Reddit Ask Me Anything post, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman addressed the anticipated release of GPT-5 and also provided insights on the company's ongoing struggles with compute capacity, which he said is affecting product timelines. So Altman clarified that there is no imminent release plan for GPT-5, stating, "We have some very good releases coming later this year," but he emphasized that none of them will bear the GPT-5 name. So yeah, a lot of speculation about what does that mean. People are saying, it could still be GPT-5, but it could be this new Orion model, or it could be a GPT 4.5. But Sam Altman did essentially say there won't be a GPT-5 this year, which is something that I hate to be saying this, y'all. I've been saying this for forever. I said there will not be a GPT-5 in 2024. I said it would probably be first quarter of 2025 if we do actually get it. So the ongoing challenges in compute capacity are also is a significant factor in delaying the rollout of these new AI models, Altman said. And he also noted that as models become more complex, OpenAI faces some tough decisions about resource allocation, right? They have all these other products that also require a lot of resources. But recent reports, which we talked about in the newsletter last week, suggest that OpenAI has been working with Broadcom to develop a specialized AI chip to enhance its computational power, although this new technology may not be available until 2026 if it's available at all. So some other tidbits from this Ask Me Anything session. So the advanced voice mode feature for ChatGPT was initially expected to include vision capabilities, but those plans have been postponed, again, due to compute limitations, right? So Sam Altman saying, hey, we don't have enough access to compute. So the rushed demo of that feature was during a press event, was intended to just draw attention away from Google's I/O developer conference, despite concerns about its readiness. So there we go. Again, having these working demos really just being used as marketing against the other big company. And, here we go. I mean, who's actually shipping here? Also, Altman mentioned that the image generation tool DALL-E is currently lacking any release timelines for future versions, and the video generation tool Sora has also encountered some technical setbacks that hinder its competitive edge against other AI video systems like Luma and Runway. So Altman reiterated that improving the reasoning models right now, so the O1 preview, the O1 mini, and eventually the O1 full model are OpenAI's top priority, with several exciting features on the horizon. All right, so yeah, pretty interesting. I'm on vacation, so I was not expecting Sam Altman to do a tell-all kind of Reddit Ask Me Anything. So nothing there terribly shocking, aside from him saying that the top priority was.
This is
Which I was like for joining live. Today is technically pre-recorded, so if you want your AI news, generally I rattle that off before the show, but we are debuting this live. But to go get the latest news, make sure to go check out our newsletter. All right, enough chit chat. I am excited for today's show, something that I think I'm going to learn a lot about, and I hope you are too. So please help me welcome to the show. There we go. We have him, Nick Marta, the technical lead for AI and AI governance at Mozilla. Nick, thank you so much for joining the Everyday AI Show.
Jordan, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right, so let's just talk real quick. What's your role? Technical lead AI governance at Mozilla. What do you do? I think everyone knows Mozilla from Firefox and some other initiatives, but what do you do in your role?
Yeah, so Mozilla broadly is trying to make the internet a more open and public place. And more these days, that means thinking about how AI is shaping the internet and making sure AI is open and safe and a public resource for everyone. And so I'm focused on thinking about both how do we help make it easier for developers to build AI more responsibly. So how do we do technical work and create technical tools that helps folks build AI safely? And then the flip side of that as well, how do we advance the policy and governance conversation to promote the broader societal structures we need to also promote trustworthy AI? So thinking about both the technical and governance sides of AI governance.
So I kind of alluded to it there in the intro, Nick, but why is this needed, right? Why do we need public AI, right? There's so many AI choices, right? It's like there's new large language models or LLM updates every day. Why do we need something public?
So most of the AI folks interact with, build with, use in their everyday lives are built on top of commercial AI infrastructures. And many times that works just great. It solves a lot of problems for folks. But there are many problems that folks want to or could use AI for that they can't, or there are many places where you want to be able to build with AI in a particular way. For example, you're trying to use AI on some proprietary data or sensitive data that you can't put in the cloud. Well, you're going to want to do that locally on your computer, and then it starts to get more challenging to use a lot of these commercial solutions where you actually probably want full access to the model and its weights and its code, and you want to be able to develop that locally. So there are places like that where there are gaps in the commercial ecosystem for developers and consumers, but then there's also this broader structural and societal conversation we need to have about who's building AI, where is the power in this very powerful ecosystem, and what is the infrastructure we're creating for the future of AI? Is it one where it's geared toward just solely commercial interests, some of which are good, some of which are bad? Or do we also want to have alternatives where you're building on top of public infrastructure as well? And I think the easiest way to get at this is just through a couple quick analogies. So one is for transportation, right? You step outside, you look, if you're in a city anyway, and you look on the road and you'll see both cars and buses, right? Or you turn on the TV and you flip the channels and you'll see, at least in the US, you'll see both PBS and NBC, right? Public broadcasting and a private network. And so you see a lot of these places where we have infrastructure that supports both public and private use cases. And this is the sort of thing we've seen time and time again with innovation, where often the private sector is pushing the frontiers of capabilities, but it's the public sector that's making those capabilities actually accessible and usable across a lot of the parts of the ecosystem where the commercial incentives just aren't there to actually promote the public interest use cases we care about.
So help me understand that. I think that's a great analogy that you brought up there, right? Like private cars and then, public city buses can share the road, and there's pros and cons for each and different use cases for each. How does that work with AI, right? Because doesn't ultimately maybe a private company have to be very involved in a public AI, or is this something that, governments or, states, countries, is that how it should be? Like, so then they have that kind of not ownership, but in the same way that a bus is usually owned by a city, right? So who can own, public AI to make it truly public?
Yeah, so when we talk about public AI, we don't just mean governments. Governments are, of course, a core part of public, but there are many other public institutions, right? So think about the early days of the internet, and even what's come from that to today, right? You have the Mozilla Foundation backing Firefox. You have the Apache Foundation and the Linux Foundation backing those respective services, right? So you have these nonprofits that are creating a sustainable open source product that folks can build on top of. And you can imagine that sort of thing happening with AI as well. And we're seeing that happen in spots. I think the Allen Institute is a perfect example of this, where it's a nonprofit backed development model for creating both AI models and AI training data that is part of this broader public AI ecosystem. But then on top of that, you can imagine commercial actors using bits and pieces of public AI artifacts to build their products and solutions. So I think if we do this right, the public and private AI ecosystems will be symbiotic with each other. They can build on top of each other. If you're a startup innovator trying to build your AI product, you could choose between more of a public AI stack or more of a private AI stack, or the pieces that make the most sense for your particular application. These two things don't need to be contradictory, and they can actually work together, and you can kind of have more of a modular approach in how you pick and choose how to use different parts of the ecosystem.
So maybe could you help explain, Nick, a little bit more, right? Because I think many of the models that a lot of us have heard of are closed proprietary models, right? The GPT models from OpenAI, Gemini models from Google, Claude models from Anthropic, etc., right? But then there's also this other class of, either open source or open weights models, right? So as an example, Llama from Meta. So what's the difference between those types of models and then true public models?
Right. So the way we define public AI is we lay out 3 criteria for what public AI should be advancing. One of those is public goods, that public AI should be creating open and accessible goods and shared resources at all levels of the AI stack. Another is public orientation, that public AI should be centering the needs of communities and people. And public use, that public AI should be prioritizing AI applications in the public interest. And I think if you look at Llama, for example, I think it's very clear that Llama has really enabled a lot of people to build AI applications and infrastructure that advances those 3 goals I just outlined. But Llama itself doesn't quite meet those 3 criteria. And we could do a longer breakdown of where and why, but I think a good example is just on public goods, right? Llama might be open weights, but when you look at all of the components that are needed to be able to use Llama as a true public good, something that you can really build on top of, unencumbered, and not have it have to sort of fit certain constraints, right? The same sort of fights you saw in the early days of open source software, right? Llama doesn't quite meet those criteria. And so it's not public AI in and of itself, but I think we should be appropriately complimentary to Meta and Llama as well for helping enable a lot of public AI innovation that has happened on top of Llama, right? We can hold these thoughts in parallel and say that this is really helpful, even if it's not public AI in and of itself.
So, going back to your analogies that you gave, Nick, a lot of the public versus, private comparisons made sense, right? So, a bus and a car in a city makes perfect sense. PBS, and NBC, right? Like as an example, that makes great sense, because they get somewhat similar resources on a smaller scale. But when it comes to AI, how can that make sense, or how can that work out in the long run? Because, you have these companies like OpenAI and Google and Anthropic with seemingly unlimited budgets, right? Billions or tens of billions of dollars. And, they're hiring, dozens and hundreds of the world's top engineers. And then with public AI, I don't think they have that many resources, right? So how can this still work? How can, public AI still keep pace, right? How can the city bus still keep pace with these private cars that are getting all these investments?
Yeah. So there are a couple parts to this. One is that public AI is partly about building differently, right? You're building on top of different infrastructure, you're building for different needs. So it's not necessarily trying to compete with the same types of public AI applications we're seeing in the world, right? You're not necessarily trying to create another ChatGPT. You might be trying to create a smaller language model that's trained on open access and openly licensed data that can then be used in high risk sensitive domains where you need to have very strong data provenance and be able to show clearly, like, here's what's in the data set. We promise this is not going to generate dangerous or illegal content. And so that's a very different development approach, right? There, you're not trying to scrape the entire internet to create the largest data set as possible to train your AI model. You might be looking for very high quality, specific data, smaller data sets, and you're going to create models that might not necessarily achieve the same scores on the same benchmarks, but comes with a set of guarantees that the private models don't, about trust, about safety, about what's in the training data set. Right? So there's an example of where you don't necessarily need to be hitting the same model size and development costs as private companies. But at the same time, you're also right that there's a huge mismatch between the public AI ecosystem and the private AI ecosystem. And if we want this public AI ecosystem to actually be a meaningful counterpart to the private AI ecosystem, the same way you can choose if you're trying to go from the suburbs to downtown in a medium-sized city, you can choose between a car or a bus. We should be able to make those choices. We should be able to choose the alternative that makes the most sense for our needs. And right now, the public AI ecosystem is just not at that level of being a true bus ecosystem that counterparts private cars. And so that's going to require major investment. That can come from nonprofits, it can come from academia, but really you're also going to need large investments from government, because of the scale that we're talking about here, tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars across the world that are going into specific types of private AI innovation. You're going to need similar amounts of money to actually create a meaningful public alternative. And to reach that level of investment, governments are going to have to play a key role as well, on top of philanthropies, nonprofits, and the broader public ecosystem. So I think it's both alternatives that are built differently, on top of meaningful sort of systemic shifts in how we're investing in AI across society.
So, Nick, you kind of already gave us, one good example with the Allen Institute for AI and their open language model. Could you maybe give us whether they're, models that are, kind of quote unquote out yet public models, or either examples, right, or use cases of kind of this, this shared road analogy, right? So maybe what are some other instances to help our audience better understand the importance of public models, right? Where, you might not want to use a ChatGPT or a Gemini for this type of work or this type of task. So can you maybe, give us kind of that breakdown of, okay, where are these public models and some example use cases of where they would actually be, very beneficial for that safer, kind of use in public trust?
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple examples, but I also want to broaden the scope here from just models to public alternatives at all levels of the AI stack, because we don't just need public models, we also need public data and public infrastructure broadly, right? So for models, for example, you've got everything from Olmo from the Allen Institute, as we were talking about earlier, to Falcon 40B and AlphaFold 2, right? And I give AlphaFold as a specific example because it was developed in a commercial AI lab, but it was properly open sourced, and it's been used in all of these important biological applications to help advance the state of the science on so many important health and medical topics, right? So that's where you start to see some real world impacts with these models, both the large language models that are general purpose, all the way down to the more specific models trained on particular data sets and for particular applications. I would also give examples across the stack. So Common Voice is a good example of something that Mozilla supports, which is this data set where we are essentially crowdsourcing voice language from around the world. So folks can donate their voice to this data set in their native language. And we're creating this data set that is open access, openly licensed, where folks can then come and build AI models on top of this data, so they can make their AI models actually work in all languages rather than just English, which is what you often see either as the only supported language or the best supported language in so many of the AI models that are being developed by commercial actors. So it's like that. We see the importance of public alternatives across the stack. I want to give one more example, which is we're starting to see a lot of governments put time and money and energy into building compute infrastructure. So in the US, you have initiatives like the National AI Research Resource and a program called FAST at the Department of Energy. Internationally, you have programs like India AI and the AI factories in the European Union. that are starting to do a similar thing. And these programs are essentially trying to expand access to the compute needed to train AI models, making that available to often academics who are trying to build AI models for their particular scientific tasks, but also sometimes for startups and nonprofits that want to use AI to solve some problem, but just don't have the money to do so. So that's another type of public AI, except it's a very different structure, right? There it's government subsidizing access to compute rather than in the Allen Institute case, where the Allen Institute is actually developing AI models and data directly for the AI ecosystem. All of those things can be called public AI.
That's a good point, right? It's not just models, it's data sets, it's compute, right? Because I think that, I mean, if you're a daily listener of this show, I think, you probably realize now how much AI has kind of infiltrated our daily lives, right? Our devices now, the newest iPhones have small language models and large language models integrated, our operating systems, etc. So as we look forward in the future, Nick, not going to ask you to bust out your crystal ball, right? But how can public AI really help, right? Can help, especially with safety, accountability, and trustworthiness as AI starts to become more and more integrated into our daily lives.
Yeah, so I think a core part of public AI is not just about expanding public access to AI, but it's about making it easier for everyone to build trustworthy AI. So how do you make the tools needed, the approaches needed for safe AI to be incorporated from the start of the development process, to be something that's layered in throughout the development process and the deployment process? So you can imagine, for example, as public institutions make these models more accessible and release them to the public, that they could be built on a different incentive structure where there's greater safety testing throughout the process of development and deployment. There are tools that are put out alongside the model to make it even easier for folks who are building with the model to build safely. Or I think an example of data sets, as we were talking about earlier, you can imagine this public AI ecosystem really prioritizing open access and openly licensed data that doesn't have some of the dangerous and illegal material that we're seeing in some of the data sets that are being used to train commercial AI models right now. And that's going to help promote safety and accountability across the ecosystem. So public AI done right will help create AI tools and alternatives and infrastructure that has prioritized safety from the start. That is not going to be enough for safety in and of itself, but coupled with a better incentive structure too for developing and deploying AI applications in higher sensitivity use cases in public domains, in places where people's rights and safety are particularly impacted. If in those spaces in particular we're really leaning into this public AI approach, I think it'll really help create better incentives and better approaches to actually prioritize safety throughout the process, rather than sort of bringing commercial actors to spaces where there's so much sensitivity and care needed to actually use AI responsibly that there's often a mismatch between the profit incentive and the public interest application that's trying to be served in that purpose.
Hey, this is Jordan, the host of Everyday AI. I've spent more than 1,000 hours inside ChatGPT, and
I'm gonna stop it. I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens. I don't really give a fuck. Something's going on. The thing's doing. Not doing it. I gotta go out of here, into here. This was the other ones.
Half-Life app for Android downloader et real-time score success aleage app Android. Android tips, tricks, sports list. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real Time. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real Time Score Soccer A League APK Android tips, tricks, sports live. Google search. With the AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real Time Score Soccer A League APK Android tips, tricks, sports live. Google search. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. In the app you can buy and manage your tickets, follow the matches via Live updated results and take part in video clips from the matches. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live. So fast score, live sports scores. News and magazines, sports news, sports news. Installed. Premier League, official app. No results. Try removing some filters. A-League Live is Australia's #1 football app. We bring you all the latest football news, scores, and stats for the Australian A-League, including the 9/10 free Android lifestyle. The fan code app has been downloaded by more than 3+ crore users. It offers interactive live streaming of all major sporting events, Premier Cricket, tournaments. April 14, 2016, live score for AFC Cup latest version APK download for Android. AFC Cup, fixtures, results, standings, scores and videos. As the biggest, best and most loved mobile app for the Australian Football AFL League, the League Live app lets you do more than just follow your team. 10/10 free Android lifestyle. Missing AFC. Show results with AFC. Find everything you want to know about Isuzu Ute A-League men's and the Liberty A-League women's. News, videos, fixtures, results and ladders. Live scores on flashscore.com.au offer live scores from EPL, La Liga, A-League, ACL, UEFA Champions League and more than 1,000 football/soccer competitions. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live, Google search. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live, Google search. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. In the app you can buy and manage your tickets, follow the matches via Live updated results and take part in video clips from the matches. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live. So fast score, live sports scores. News and magazines, sports news, sports news. Installed. Premier League, official app. No results. Try removing some filters. A-League Live is Australia's #1 football app. We bring you all the latest football news, scores and stats for the Australian A-League, including the 9/10 free Android lifestyle. The fan code app has been downloaded by more than 3+ crore users. It offers interactive live streaming of all major sporting events, Premier Cricket, tournaments. April 14, 2016, live score for AFC Cup latest version APK download for Android. AFC Cup, fixtures, results, standings, scores and videos. As the biggest, best and most loved mobile app for the Australian Football AFL League, the League Live app lets you do more than just follow your team. 10/10 free Android lifestyle. Missing AFC. Show results with AFC. Find everything you want to know about Isuzu Ute A-League men's and the Liberty A-League women's. News, videos, fixtures, results and ladders. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live, Google search. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. In the app you can buy and manage your tickets, follow the matches via Live updated results and take part in video clips from the matches. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live. So fast score, live sports scores. News and magazines, sports news, sports news. Installed. Premier League, official app. No results. Try removing some filters. A-League Live is Australia's #1 football app. We bring you all the latest football news, scores and stats for the Australian A-League, including the 9/10 free Android lifestyle. The FanCode app has been downloaded by more than 3+ crore users. It offers interactive live streaming of all major sporting events, Premier Cricket, tournaments. April 14, 2016, live score for AFC Cup latest version APK download for Android. AFC Cup, fixtures, results, standings. In the app you can buy and manage your tickets, follow the matches via live. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Score Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live, Google search. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. In the app you can buy and manage your tickets, follow the matches via Live updated results and take part in video clips from the matches. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live. So fast score, live sports scores. News and magazines, sports news, sports news. Installed. Premier League, official app. No results. Try removing some filters. A-League Live is Australia's #1 football app. We bring you AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live, Google search. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. In the app you can buy and manage your tickets, follow the matches via Live updated results and take part in video clips from the matches. With the AFC Live app, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Get real-time scores, news and updates from the AFC Asian Cup, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup. AFC Live APK for Android downloader at Get Real-Time Scores Soccer A League APK Android Tips Tricks Sports Live. So fast score, live sports scores. News and magazines, sports news, sports news. Installed. Premier League, official app. No results. Try removing some filters. A-League Live is Australia's #1 football app. We bring you all the latest football news, scores, and stats for the Australian A-League, including the 9/10 free Android lifestyle. The FanCode app has been downloaded by more than 3+ crore users. It offers interactive live streaming of all major sporting events, Premier Cricket, tournaments. April 14, 2016, live score for AFC Cup latest version APK download for Android. AFC Cup, fixtures, results, standings, scores and videos. As the biggest, best and most loved mobile app for the Australian Football AFL League, the League Live app lets you do more than just follow your team. 10/10 free Android lifestyle. Missing AFC. Show results with AFC. Find everything you want to know about Isuzu Ute A-League men's and the Liberty A-League women's. News, videos, fixtures, results and ladders. Live scores on flashscore.com.au offer live scores from EPL, La Liga, A-League, ACL, UEFA Champions League and more than 1,000 football/soccer competitions. Sauceroos, WCQ, Sydney FC, 7 A-League stars named in Sauceroos squad. Sydney FC duo Anthony Caceres and Hayden Matthews are among 7 Isuzu Ute A-League players called up by Sauceroos head coach Tony Popovic for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. Joining the Sky Blues pair in the camp for the pivotal clashes will be Sydney FC captain Ryan Grant, who returns to the national team setup for the first time since 2022. Melbourne Victory duo Nishan Filipoli and defender Jason Jeria have also been rewarded for their excellent start to the 2024-25 Isuzu Ute A-League season. Round preview: what you need to know ahead of round 4 of the Isuzu Ute- League season. Furthermore, Western Sydney forward Brandon Borlow also returns to the squad after bagging 2 goals and 2 assists in the Wanderers' first 3 matches of the campaign. Melbourne City captain Aziz Bihik has also been selected by Popovic for the upcoming clashes. Click here to get your tickets for round 4 of the Isuzu Ute- League. Meanwhile, former Central Coast Mariners midfielder and 2-time Isuzu Ute- League champion Max Ballard has also been included in a Sassuolo squad for the first time following his impressive start to life in the Dutch Eredivisie with NAC Breda. We're in the early stages of this journey as a group and will continue to implement the style of play that will be the foundation of our success throughout this cycle, said Popovic. It's an important series of fixtures and we're looking forward to finishing off the year on the right note and equally putting on a strong performance for the people of Melbourne who have shown us such great support. Sassuolo's WCQ, Sydney FC, 7A- League stars named in Sassuolo's squad. Sydney FC duo Anthony Caceres and Hayden Matthews are among 7 Isuzu Ute- League players called up by Sassuolo's head coach Tony Popovic for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. Joining the Sky Blues pair in the camp for the pivotal clashes will be Sydney FC captain Ryan Grant, who returns to the national team setup for the first time since 2022. Melbourne Victory duo Nishan Filipoli and defender Jason Jeria have also been rewarded for their excellent start to the 2024-25 Isuzu Ute- League season. Round preview: what you need to know ahead of round 4 of the Isuzu Ute- League season. Furthermore, Western Sydney forward Brandon Borlow also returns to the squad after bagging 2 goals and 2 assists in the Wanderers' first 3 matches of the campaign. Melbourne City captain Aziz Bihik has also been selected by Popovic for the upcoming clashes. Click here to get your tickets for round 4 of the Isuzu Ute- League. Meanwhile, former Central Coast Mariners midfielder and 2-time Isuzu Ute- League champion Max Ballard has also been included in a Sassuolo squad for the first time following his impressive start to life in the Dutch Eredivisie with NAC Breda. We're in the early stages of this journey as a group and will continue to implement the style of play that will be the foundation of our success throughout this cycle, said Popovic. It's an important series of fixtures and we're looking forward to finishing off the year on the right note and equally putting on a strong performance for the people of Melbourne who have shown us such great support in recent years. Now aged 32, Caceres has finally been included in a Sassuolo squad for the first time, having been one of the most consistent performers in the Isuzu Ute- League over the last 5 years. A 2-time champion with Sydney FC, the creative midfielder will now compete with the likes of Jackson Irvine, Ejden Hrustic, Riley McGree, Patrick Yazbek and Ballard for the chance to feature in the 2 crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. The first of which is against Saudi Arabia in Melbourne on November 14th. I'm incredibly proud and grateful for this opportunity, Caceres told Sydney FC Media. It's a huge honor to be called into the Sassuolos, particularly for 2 critical games, and I'll be giving it everything I've got for my country. It's something I've dreamed about from an early age, and I'm ready to contribute to helping us qualify for the World Cup. For Matthews, a maiden national team call-up completes what has been a whirlwind 12 months for the talented central defender. Feature: read an Unreal A- League's origin story you need to hear. I gave up, honestly. Coming through the Sydney FC Academy, the 20-year-old is rapidly becoming one of the most consistent defenders in the Isuzu Ute- League, establishing himself at the heart of Ufuk Talay's defense since making his debut in season 2023-24. This is a massive moment for me, said Matthews. Getting the chance to represent Australia is a dream come true, and I couldn't be happier. It has been an incredible year so far and I have to pinch myself to believe it. I am incredibly grateful to Sydney FC and everyone at the club for their belief in me since the age of 12 and for sticking by me through the tough times too. Broken legs. I'm determined to pay back that faith and to represent this club and the Sassuolos to the best of my ability. WSW latest Wanderers coach explains Juan Mata sub Colin hints at Sassuolo's return. He's very close. Furthermore, should Matthews go on to make his Sassuolo's debut against either Saudi Arabia or Bahrain, the number of overseas clubs interested in acquiring his services is likely to grow even longer. Meanwhile, Sydney FC captain Grant returns to the national team setup for the first time since the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign. where he played for the Socceroos in a 2-0 loss to Japan at Kerr Stadium. Click here to get your tickets for round 4 of the Isuzu Ute A- League. I honestly didn't see this coming, but I'm absolutely delighted, said Grant upon learning of his call-up. It's always an honor to be selected for your country, and if I get the chance I'll give it my all as always. We've had a really great start to this season, which has no doubt helped my selection. The Socceroos currently sit second in qualifying Group C, ahead of third place Saudi Arabia on goal difference. Match details. Australia v Saudi Arabia. Date, Thursday, November 14th. Kickoff, 8:10 p.m. at Venue, AAMI Park, Melbourne. Broadcast, Network 10, 10 Play, Paramount Plus. Bahrain v Australia. Date, Wednesday, November 20th. Kickoff, 5:15 a.m. at Venue, Bahrain National Stadium. Broadcast, Paramount Plus. A-League men rode 14 news ins and outs, injuries, suspensions. The teams are in ahead of round 4 of the 2024-25 Isuzu Ute A-League season. There's good news for Adelaide United this weekend as star recruit Bart Fryens is included in his first squad of the season. The Dutchman hasn't featured so far this season, but after coming close to selection in Adelaide's round 3 win over Western Sydney Wanderers, the centre-back is in the mix to take on Western United at Cooper Stadium. But Western United have reinforcements arriving too, with newly named captain Ben Garuccio included in John Aloisi's squad for what could be his first appearance of the season. Meanwhile, Sydney FC have named star Englishman Joe Lally for a meeting with MacArthur Bulls. Lally was substituted in the first half of the Sky Blues round 2 clash with Auckland FC due to a groin injury, but is back in the selection mix to take on the Bulls. Catch up with all the team news below. Auckland FC have the bye in round 4. Get your tickets to Unite round. Get your tickets to round 4 of the Isuzu Ute A- League. Friday, 7:35 p.m. at Western Sydney Wanderers v Newcastle Jets. Combank Stadium, Paramount Plus. Match Center, buy tickets, how to watch. Western Sydney Wanderers squad 2. Gabriel Clur, 4. Alex Bonatig, 5. Dylan Shakluna, 7. Zach Sapsford, 8. Taewuk Jong, 9. Marcus Antonsen, 10. Alex Badalato, 12. Ben Holiday, 14. Nicholas Milanovic, 18. Oscar Priestman, 19. Jack Clisby, 21. Aiden Hammond, 22. Anthony Pantazopoulos, 23. Bozidar Crave, 25. Josh Berland, 26. Brandon Borlo, 30. Jordan Holmes, GK, 21. Aiden Simmons, 40. Tristan Vidakovic, GK, 64. Juan Mata. 2 to be omitted. Ins 10. Alex Badalato, 18. Oscar Priestman, 22. Anthony Pantazopoulos. Outs 13. Dean Pelikanos, 16. Tom Beedling, 27. James Temelkovsky. Unavailable 20. Lawrence Thomas, GK. Newcastle Jets Squad 1. Ryan Scott, 4. Philip Kankar, 6. Matthew Scarcella, 7. Eli Adams, 10. Wellesley, 13. Clayton Taylor, 14. Dane Ingham, 15. Alexander Sissinjar, 17. Costa Grozos, 19. Callum Timmins, 21. Noah James, 22. Ben Gibson, 23. Daniel Wilmering, 24. Alex Nunez, 27. Nathan Grimaldi, 28. Will Dobson, 29. Justin Fiddick, 33. Mark Natta, 37. Lachlan Bayless, 39. Thomas Aquilina. 2 to be omitted. Ins nil. Outs nil. Unavailable 11. Jacob Dowes, 25. Oscar Fryer. Get your tickets to Unite round. Get your tickets to round 4 of the Isuzu Ute A- League. Saturday, 5 p.m. at Melbourne Victory v Brisbane Roar. AAMI Park 10 Bold, Paramount Plus, 10 Play. Match Center, buy tickets, how to watch. Melbourne Victory FC Squad 2. Jason Jeria. Adama Traore, 5. Brendan Hamill, 6. Ryan Teague, 7. Daniel Arzani, 8. Zanadine Mikic, 9. Nicolaus Fergus, 10. Bruno Fornaroli, 11. Claris Mario Santos Rodriguez, 14. Jordi Valadon, 16. Joshua Insera, 17. Nishan Filupali, 18. Fabian Mung, 19. Jing Reek, 21. Roderick Miranda, 22. Joshua Rollins, 25. Jack Duncan, 27. Reno Piscopo, 28. Casey Boss, 30. Daniel Graskowski. 2 to be omitted. Ins 10. Bruno Fornaroli, promoted, 16. Joshua and Sarah, promoted. Outs nil. Unavailable nil. Brisbane Roar Squad 1. Macklin Freak, GK, 3. Corey Brown, 4. Ben Warland, 6. Joe Coletti, 7. Raphael Strick, 8. Waleed Shore, 10. Florin Beranger, 15. Josine Beliti, 16. Thomas Waddingham, 17. Harry Van der Sog, 19. Jack Hingert, 21. Anthony Burke Gilroy, 23. Keegan Jelacic, 24. Sam Klein, 26. Jay O'Shea, C, 27. Ben Halloran, 29. Matt Acton, GK, 30. Quinn McNichol, 35. Louis Abala, 43. Adam Zimmerino. 2 to be omitted. Ins nil. Outs nil. Unavailable 2. Scott Neville injured, 11. Nicer Acosta, leg injury. Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to Round 4 of the Isuzu Ude- League. Saturday, 7:35 p.m. at Adelaide United v Western United. Cooper Stadium 10 bold, Paramount Plus, 10 play. Adelaide United Squad 1. James Delianove, 3. Bart Fryans, 6. Stefan Malk, 7. Ryan Kiddo, 8. Isaias, 9. Luka Jovanovic, 10. Zach Clough, 12. Johnny Yull, 14. Jay Barnett, 17. Ben Folemi, 19. Yaya Ducali, 20. Dylan Perias, 21. Javi Lopez, 26. Archie Goodwin, 36. Panache Madanha, 40. Ethan Cox, 42. Austin Eoby, 44. Ryan White, 51. Panagiotis Kikianis, 55. Ethan Alagic. 2 to be omitted. Ins 3. Bart Fryans. Outs nil. Unavailable 4. Jordan Elsey. Western United Squad 1. Tom Hurdbell, GK, 5. Oliver Laval, 6. Timoki Ime, 9. Hiroshi Ibusuki, 10. Matthew Grimaldi, 13. Tate Russell, 14. Jake Najdowski, 17. Ben Garuccio, 19. Noah Bodek, 20. Abel Wale T, 21. Sebastian Pasquale, 22. Kane Fidmar, 23. Reese Bosnowski, 29. Charbel Shamoon, 30. Dylan Leonard, 32. Angus Thurgate, 33. Matthew Sutton, GK, 34. James York, 37. Luke Vickery, 77. Riku Danzaki. 2 to be omitted. In 17. Ben Garuccio returns from injury, 37. Luke Vickery. Outs nil. Unavailable. A- League Men Road 14 news ins and outs, injuries, suspensions. The teams are in ahead of round 4 of the 2024-25 Isuzu Ute A- League season. There's good news for Adelaide United this weekend as star recruit Bart Fryans is included in his first squad of the season. The Dutchman hasn't featured so far this season, but after coming close to selection in Adelaide's round 3 win over Western Sydney Wanderers, the centre-back is in the mix to take on Western United at Cooper Stadium. But Western United have reinforcements arriving too, with newly named captain Ben Garuccio included in John Aloisi's squad for what could be his first appearance of the season. Meanwhile, Sydney FC have named star Englishman Joe Lally for a meeting with MacArthur Bulls. Lally was substituted in the first half of the Sky Blues round 2 clash with Auckland FC due to a groin injury, but is back in the selection mix to take on the Bulls. Catch up with all the team news below. Auckland FC have the bye in round 4. Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to round 4 of the Isuzu Ute- League. Friday, 7:35 p.m. at Western Sydney Wanderers v Newcastle Jets. Combank Stadium, Paramount Plus. Match Center, buy tickets, how to watch. Western Sydney Wanderers Squad 2. Gabriel Clur, 4. Alex Bonatig, 5. Dylan Shakluna, 7. Zach Sapsford, 8. Taewuk Jong, 9. Marcus Antonsen, 10. Alex Badalato. 12. Ben Holiday, 14. Nicholas Milanovic, 18. Oscar Priestman, 19. Jack Clisby, 21. Aidan Hammond, 22. Anthony Pantazopoulos, 23. Boziter Crave, 25. Josh Berland, 26. Brandon Borlow, 30. Jordan Holmes, GK, 21. Aiden Simmons, 40. Tristan Vidakovic, GK, 64. Juan Mata. 2 to be omitted. Ins 10. Alex Badalato, 18. Oscar Priestman, 22. Anthony Pantazopoulos. Outs 13. Dean Pelikanos, 16. Tom Beedling, 27. James Temelkovsky. Unavailable 20. Lawrence Thomas, GK. Newcastle Jets Squad 1. Ryan Scott, 4. Philip Kankar, 6. Matthew Scarcella, 7. Eli Adams, 10. Wellesley, 13. Clayton Taylor, 14. Dane Ingham, 15. Alexander Sissinjar, 17. Costa Grozos, 19. Callum Timmins, 21. Noah James, 22. Ben Gibson, 23. Daniel Wilmering, 24. Alex Nunez, 27. Nathan Grimaldi, 28. Will Dobson, 29. Justin Fiddick, 33. Mark Natta, 37. Lachlan Bayless, 39. Thomas Aquilina. 2 to be omitted. Ins nil. Outs nil. Unavailable 11. Jacob Dowes, 25. Oscar Fryer. Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to Round 4 of the Isuzu Ude- League. Saturday, 5 p.m. at Melbourne Victory v Brisbane Roar. Miami Park 10 Bold, Paramount Plus, 10 Play. Match Center, buy tickets, how to watch? Melbourne Victory FC Squad 2. Jason Jeria. Adama Traore, 5. Brendan Hamill, 6. Ryan Teague, 7. Daniel Arzani, 8. Zanadine Mikic, 9. Nicolaus Vergas, 10. Bruno Fornaroli, 11. Claris Mario Santos Rodriguez, 14. Jordi Valadon, 16. Joshua Insera, 17. Nishan Filupoli, 18. Fabian Mung, 19. Jing Reek, 21. Roderick Miranda, 22. Joshua Rollins, 25. Jack Duncan, 27. Reno Piscopo, 28. Casey Boss, 30. Daniel Graskowski. 2 to be omitted. Ins 10. Bruno Fornaroli, promoted, 16. Joshua Insera, promoted. Outs nil. Unavailable nil. Brisbane Roar Squad 1. Macklin Freak, GK, 3. Corey Brown, 4. Ben Warland, 6. Joe Coletti, 7. Raphael Sturrock, 8. Waleed Shore, 10. Florin Beranger, 15. Hosine Beliti, 16. Thomas Waddingham, 17. Harry Van der Sog, 19. Jack Hingert, 21. Anthony Burke Gilroy, 23. Keegan Jelacic, 24. Sam Klein, 26. Jay O'Shea, C, 27. Ben Halloran, 29. Matt Acton, GK, 30. Quinn McNichol, 35. Louis Abala, 43. Adam Zimmerino. 2 to be omitted. Ins nil. Outs nil. Unavailable 2. Scott Neville injured, 11. Nicer Acosta, leg injury. Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to Round 4 of the Isuzu Ude- League. Saturday, 7:35 p.m. at Adelaide United v Western United. Cooper Stadium 10 Bold, Paramount Plus, 10 Play. Adelaide United Squad 1. James Delianove, 3. Bart Fryans, 6. Stefan Malk, 7. Ryan Kiddo, 8. Isaias, 9. Luka Jovanovic, 10. Zach Clough, 12. Johnny Yull, 14. Jay Barnett, 17. Ben Folemi, 19. Yaya Ducali, 20. Dylan Perias, 21. Javi Lopez, 26. Archie Goodwin, 36. Panache Madanha, 40. Ethan Cox, 42. Austin Eoby, 44. Ryan White, 51. Panagiotis Kikianis, 55. Ethan Alajic. 2 to be omitted. Ins 3. Bart Fryans. Outs nil. Unavailable 4. Jordan Elsey. Western United Squad 1. Tom Hurdbell, GK, 5. Oliver Laval, 6. Timoki Ime, 9. Hiroshi Ibusuki, 10. Matthew Grimaldi, 13. Tate Russell, 14. Jake Najdowski, 17. Ben Garuccio, 19. Noah Bodek, 20. Abel Wale T, 21. Sebastian Pasquale, 22. Kane Fidmar, 23. Reese Bosnovsky, 29. Charbel Shamoon, 30. Dylan Leonard, 32. Angus Thurgate, 33. Matthew Sutton, GK, 34. James York, 37. Luke Vickery, 77. Riku Danzaki. 2 to be omitted. In 17. Ben Garuccio returns from injury, 37. Luke Vickery. Outs nil. Unavailable 4. James Donachie, injured, 7. Rami Najarine, injured, 43. Coder Catter, injured. Match Center, buy tickets, how to watch? Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to Round 4 of the Isuzu Ude- League. Sunday, 4 p.m. at Central Coast Mariners v Wellington Phoenix. Industry Group Stadium, Paramount Plus. Match Center, buy tickets, how to watch? Central Coast Mariners Squad 1 Adam Pavlicek, GK, 3. Brian Coltake, 5. Noah Smith, 8. Alfie McCalmont, 9. Alu Kwol, 10. Mikhail Doka, 11. Vitor Vijau, 12. Lucas Murigis, 15. Storm Rue, 16. Harry Steele, 17. Sabit Noor, 24. Diesel Harrington, 27. Sasha Kuzevsky, 28. Will Wilson, 30. Jack Warshawski, 33. Nathan Paul, 36. Payne Eames, 37. Bailey Brandman, 40. Dylan Pere Cullen, 99. Ryan Edmondson. 2 to be omitted. Ins 5. Noah Smith, 28. Will Wilson. Outs 26. Brad Tapp, 29. Nico Duarte. Unavailable 20. Trent Sainsbury. Wellington Phoenix Squad 1. Josh Oluwayemi, GK, 3. Corbin Piper, 4. Scott Wooten, C, 6. Tim Payne, 7. Costa Barbarouzes, 8. Paolo Return, 9. Pitakia Shige, 10. David Ball, 11. Stefan Kolakowski, 12. Moalteye, 14. Alex Roofer, C, 15. Isaac Hughes, 19. Sam Sutton, 21. Marco Rojas, 24. Oscar Van Hattem, 25. Kazuki Nagasawa, 27. Matt Sheridan, 30. Albie Kelly Heald, GK, 39. Jaden Smith, 41. Nathan Walker. 2 to be omitted. Ins 8. Paolo Richer, returning from injury. Outs 5. Finn Rowakinchi, omitted. Unavailable 18. Lucas Kelly Heald, injured. Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to Round 4 of the Isuzu Ude- League. Sunday, 6 p.m. at Sydney FC v MacArthur Bulls. Allianz Stadium, Paramount Plus. Match Center, buy tickets, how to watch? Sydney FC 1. Andrew Redmine, 4. Jordan Courtney Perkins, 5. Hayden Matthews, 7. Adrian Sejicic, 8. Anna Saham, 9. Patrick Klimala, 10. Joe Lally, 12. Harrison Devonish Mears, 13. Pat Wood, 15. Leo Senna, 16. Joel King, 17. Anthony Caceres, 20. Tiago Quintal, 22. Max Burgess, 23. Ryan Grant, C, 25. Jaden Kucharski, 28. Nathan Amantidis, 33. Marin France, 37. Will Kennedy, 41. Alex Popovic. 2 to be omitted. Ins 10. Joe Lally, return from injury, 28. Nathan Amantidis, return from injury. Outs nil. Unavailable 6. Corey Hallman, ankle, 11. Douglas Costa, hamstring. MacArthur FC Squad 5. Matthew Yerman, 6. Thomas Lavuskok, 7. Daniel Da Silva, 8. Jay Cohn, 11. Jed Drew, 12. Philip Kurto, 13. Ivan Vujica, 15. Dino Arslanagic, 18. Walter Scott, 20. Keely Adamson, 22. Liam Rose, 23. Franz Deli, 24. Dean Boshniak, 26. Luke Braden, 27. Joshua Damsky, 28. Harrison Sawyer, 30. Alexander Robinson, 33. Yanni Nicolau, 44. Marin Jakalis, 98. Valor Germain. 2 to be omitted. Ins nil. Outs nil. Unavailable 9. Chris Ikonomidis, injured, 21. Bernardo, injured. Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to round 4 of the Isuzu Ude- League. Sunday, 8:45 p.m. at Perth Glory v Melbourne City. HBF Park, Paramount Plus. Match Center, buy tickets. How to watch? Perth Glory Squad 1. Oli Sale, GK 5. Lachlan Barr, 6. Brandon O'Neill, 7. Nicholas Pennington, 9. David Williams, 10. Nikola Milusnik, 11. Hiroaki Oyama, 12. Taros Gamulka, 13. Cameron Cook, GK 14. Nathaniel Blair, 15. Zach Lysalevsky, 16. Adam Bugrija, 17. Jared Karlukshow, 20. Trent Osler, 21. Abdul Faisal, 22. Adam Taggart, C. 23. Christian Casto, 24. Andriano Lebib, 26. Koengo, 33. Luis Kanga. 2 to be omitted. Ins 10. Nikola Milusnik, 23. Christian Casto. Outs nil. Unavailable 8. Mustafa Amini, injured, 19. Josh Risden, injured. Melbourne City Squad 1. Jamie Young, GK 2. Callum Talbot, 6. Stephen Ugrikovic, 7. Matthew Leckie 8. James Jego. Jonathan Cohen, 13. Nathaniel Atkinson, 19. Zane Schreiber, 22. German Ferreira, 26. Samuel Suprayan, 27. Kai Truin, 30. Andreas Qn, 33. Patrick Beach, GK, 35. Medin Mehmedi, 38. Harry Politidis, 40. James Nieuwenhuizen, GK, 41. Lawrence Wong, 42. Ben Dunbar, 46. Ben Mazio, 47. Kavian Ramani. 2 to be omitted. Ins 8. James Jego, returns from suspension, 40. James Nieuwenhuizen, 41. Lawrence Wong, 46. Ben Mazio, all promoted. Outs 15. Andrew Nabout, knee, 23. Marco Tilio, hamstring. Unavailable 15. Andrew Nabout, knee, 16. Aziz Bihich, suspension, 17. Max Caputo, leg, 20. Orion Soleimani, calf, 21. Alessandro Lopane, knee, 23. Marco Tilio, hamstring, 34. Jaden Nikivsky, knee, 36. Harry Shillington, ankle, 37. Peter Antonio, ankle, 39. Emin Durakovic, hamstring. Read more devastating blow for City Stars, season-ending ACL injury confirmed. Get your tickets to Unite Round. Get your tickets to round 4 of the Isuzu Ude- League.
Fucking hell, that took forever, eh, bro? Fucking hell.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is football.
I'm not sure what the current situation is, but historically, there's always been a heavy involvement from non-footballing people making football decisions. And if they want to have sustained success in the future, that needs to come to an end.
Yeah, agree. Let's move on to the Socceroos, actually. So on Friday, Tony Popovich will name what's likely to be a 26-man squad for next week's World Cup qualifier against Saudi Arabia in Melbourne, which is obviously massive. It's basically between us and them as a battle for direct qualification, at least in this round. The Saudis have made their move by sacking Roberto Mancini and bringing in Hervé Renard, which, that's good for them. I love it. He's given it the nonno at a wedding. Yeah. Microphone, absolutely outstanding. I've seen that move before. It's very good. Big call.
Yeah.
What? The Jets victory. I can't see how. Get fucked. All right, we're now out of it. Forget it. You're gone.
League Live APK for Android. Download. A free app for Android by Sportsmade Technologies. What does the league mean for you? As the biggest, best and most loved mobile app for the Australian Football AFL League, the League Live app lets you do more than just follow your team. Whether you're an avid fan, a novice player, or someone looking to improve their knowledge of the game, you'll find everything you need in the League app. With access to live scores, player ratings, match stats, news, previews, tips, and so much more, you'll be able to keep up to date on everything happening around the league. From the latest club news and player stats, to play-by-play match commentary, detailed team sheets, and score worms, you'll find everything you need to follow your team in the League app. AFL Live Scores. With access to the live scores and results of all of the major Australian football AFL games, you can keep an eye on everything happening in the league. Keep an eye Sport Leaser Player for Android, download. Comprehensive app for athletes and clubs. Sport Leaser Player is a versatile app tailored for athletes, players, and their families, enhancing the sports club experience. The application consolidates essential functionalities, enabling users to access training, competition, and event schedules, while also tracking attendance and maintaining communication with coaches. In addition to these features, users can view invoices, messages, and test results, making it a comprehensive tool for managing sports activities. The app's navigation has been improved with a modern calendar that simplifies tracking of training plans and history. A fresh design and updated profile interface enhance usability, while a new one-time PIN code option streamlines the login process, catering to user preferences for security and convenience. Sport Leaser Player caters effectively to the needs of the sports community, ensuring all essential information is readily accessible. Football Live TV Guide for Android, download. Comprehensive guide for live football streaming. The Football Live TV Guide app serves as a centralized resource for football enthusiasts seeking to watch live matches across various leagues and tournaments. It provides users with a curated list of applications to access live streaming for events such as the Premier League, UEFA Champions League, and Serie A, among others. The app features live scores, match previews, predictions, and daily sports news, ensuring users remain informed about the latest happenings in the football world. With an intuitive design, the app caters to users of all experience levels, allowing easy access to live streaming in HD quality for high-speed internet users, and lower quality for those on 3G networks. Real-time notifications keep fans updated on live matches, while the app also emphasizes the importance of advertisements that support its development. It is important to note that this app is unofficial and serves merely as a guide to recommended streaming applications. FUT Scoreboard, Tracker Alert for Android, download. FUT Scoreboard, track your progress. FUT Scoreboard Tracker is a handy tool for FUT users. The app is designed for both football and the World Cup games. It gives you an opportunity to keep track of your progress during the weekend league. You can quickly write down the results, the scorers, and the assists. With the help of the app, you can share all of them with your friends and family. Track. You can easily track your progress after playing 20 games in 72 hours. It is not a task to track all of your games, but it will allow you to keep an overview of your weekend league. You can add an event to the tracking. In this case, you will see only the ones you are involved in. View. The app allows you to check your stats and share them with your friends. The scoreboard gives you an opportunity to view your own and your player stats. Football TV Live Streaming HD, Live Football TV APK for Android, download. Watch football in real time. Football TV Live Streaming HD, Live Football TV is a cost-free mobile application dedicated to huge sports fans, specifically of the football game. This special streaming tool allows you to watch various football soccer matches without requiring any monthly subscription or limiting access. Its full service is guaranteed to be free. Various league tournaments such as World Cup Football, English Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, League One, UEFA Champions League, and Europa League are available to freely watch on Football TV Live Streaming HD's platform. For more live streaming apps, check out Sports and Earful TV. Feature-rich sports streaming app. With a single touch from your phone screen, you can effortlessly access Football TV Live Streaming HD's wide range of football content and features. Apart from its major streaming function, it provides you with live score updates for every match that you're anticipating. This will especially come in handy when you are in the midst of work or on the go, enabling you to know the match status in real time. Activating Feelert notifications is a great aid for you to not miss any action in the football world. A user-friendly and intuitive interface will greet you as you open this sports streaming bundle. Regardless of your technical knowledge, no learning curve will be required for watching. Its home tab is filled with 24/7 live soccer channels broadcast worldwide and is available for HD viewing. If you fail to watch a specific game live, just go to the highlights section, browse through the truckloads of game highlights, and play it to see how the match went.
What is this one? This one. I gotta download it. It's saying you can download it at this Subsonic. Bet you won't download it anyway. No, Paul, no, Paul. No, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. No, no, yo. No, Paul, calm down. I don't know if I downloaded it or not. It's weird. What is it called? News or something? Where is it? Where's the search button?
Find over plus 38 AI apps and tools for your task. Everything that version 1.3 of Zenless Zone Zero brings: agents, story events, and more. Read more. The EU is investigating the world's largest mobile screen manufacturer. Apple and Samsung are on edge. Softonic. The European Commission has opened a formal investigation into Corning to determine if it has violated antitrust rules with its dominant product, Gorilla Glass. Subscribe to the Softonic newsletter and get the latest in tech, gaming, entertainment, and deals right in your inbox. Subscribe, it's free. Corning's alkali aluminosilicate glass is used to protect most high-end phones and tablets. And both Samsung and Apple use it extensively across their range of devices. The EU is concerned that Corning has used various exclusivity contracts to exclude rival glass manufacturers from the phone market. Corning may have created a monopoly around its flagship product, super-resistant glass screens. Breaking the screen of a mobile phone is a very frustrating and costly experience. Therefore, strong competition in the production of protective glass for these devices is crucial to ensure low prices and high-quality glass, says the EU's Competition Chief, Margaret Vestager. We are investigating whether Corning, one of the leading producers of this special glass, may have attempted to exclude rival glass producers, thereby depriving consumers of cheaper and more shatter-resistant glass, he explains. The Commission's concerns focus on agreements with mobile device manufacturers and companies that produce raw glass. The EU is investigating exclusive supply obligations that have forced device manufacturers to source all or almost all glass from Corning, have allowed discounts for exclusivity agreements, and have required device manufacturers to report on competitors' offers and accept them only if Corning did not match the price. If Corning is found guilty of violating EU competition rules, it could face a fine. But the glass manufacturer will also have the opportunity to address the Commission's concerns with a series of commitments that may end the antitrust investigation. Corning's Gorilla Glass offers additional resistance to damage on phone and tablet screens against scratches, bumps, and drops. And it was once one of the main selling points of Apple's iPhone devices. Before Corning's alkali aluminosilicate glass became a dominant feature in modern smartphones, journalists specialized in technology, entertainment, and video games. Writing about what I'm passionate about, gadgets, games, and movies, allows me to stay sane and wake up with a smile on my face when the alarm clock goes off. P.S. This is not true 100% of the time. Latest from Kima Carvajal Sarabia Editorial Guidelines. Optimizing library. How to unstick the Photos app after updating to iOS 18, Softonic. The update to iOS 18 brings a lot of new features to the Photos app. For this reason, after updating, the system needs to optimize the library and re-index the content. This is why, after updating, many of us have seen the message to finish optimizing your library, connect the device to power overnight until it completes. The message usually disappears after a few hours or the next day, but for some very specific libraries, it seems that the Photos app struggles to complete the optimization. The situation has an easy solution, however, so let's see what we can do to complete the process and continue enjoying the Photos app. 3 resources to help the Photos app complete optimization. The first thing we need to take care of in this case is the charging. It is best to use an official cable and avoid wireless chargers for this process, as they can interrupt the charging if the device overheats. It is a good idea to charge the iPhone beforehand and have it at 100% before leaving it overnight. Let it charge until at least 5 in the morning the next day, as with less time the device cannot complete the optimization process. Another fundamental aspect of the process is the Wi-Fi connection. Optimizing the library requires a stable connection to be completed, so we must ensure that our iPhone is connected to a reliable Wi-Fi network. To verify this, we just need to go to Settings. We check that it is activated and connected to our home network, preferably to the 5 GHz version if we have more than one option. The optimized battery charging function is a very useful option to take care of our battery, but in this case, it could interfere with the optimization of the library in the Photos app. To temporarily disable it, we can go to Settings Battery and then enter Optimize Battery Charging. Once here, we select Turn Off until tomorrow or Turn Off if we prefer to keep it inactive for several days. After the optimization process, it is always advisable to reactivate it to maintain the long-term health of our battery. From here, the best we can do is be patient and let the iPhone complete the process. In some cases, UserShave mentioned that, even though the optimization message persists and the percentage doesn't seem to progress, the process completes overnight. Therefore, it's best to leave the iPhone for several nights, up to a week, to complete the process. It is easy to overlook the amount of operations and maintenance required to keep a photo library in the Photos. While the optimization process after updating to iOS 18 should be simple and quick, in some specific libraries or with certain specific configurations, the process may require some help from us. Fortunately, with the steps we have mentioned, we should be able to fully enjoy our photo library in just a few days. Architect, founder of Hanaringo.com, Apple Technologies trainer, writer at Softonic and IDoTech, formerly at Applesfera. Latest from David Bernal Raspel Tutorial Guidelines. own football. About your privacy. We process your data to deliver content or manage consent preferences. These cookies enable the website to provide enhanced more information. Own football. About your privacy. We process your data about your own football.
Stop it.
Ahmad leads United to win over PAOK, Ajax hammer Maccabi Tel Aviv own football. The Europa League returned tonight with several exciting clashes taking place across the continent. Ahmad helps United get on track. Scorers Ahmad 51-77. Own football videos. Ursler Eyes win in first ever meeting with Pep Guardiola loading official content. Ursler Eyes win in first ever meeting with Pep Guardiola. Brighton boss Fabian Herzler looks ahead to the first time he will meet Manchester City counterpart Pep Guardiola. 0 seconds of 1 minute, 54 seconds. Continue watching. Amad Diallo hit a brilliant double to help Manchester United finally get their first Europa League win of the season. And continue Rude fan Nistelrooy's unbeaten run in interim charge. PAOK almost took the lead inside 5 minutes, a shot deflecting off Casemiro and almost going past Andre Onana. United picked things up soon after, and probably should have had a penalty for a foul on Ahmad that far waved away. On the half hour, United were inches from scoring but ex-Chelsea defender Baba Rahman did brilliantly to block Alejandro Garnacho's cross when Diallo was about to finish. PAOK were more than a match for United in the first half, and Onana had to be sharp to turn over Matty Camara's half volley as Old Trafford grew restless. United came out much stronger in the second half, and took the lead with a great header from Ahmad, who guided Fernandes' cross into the far post. With their tails up, they pushed for a second with Ahmad again coming close, before Van Nistelrooy rolled on the subs, with Marcus Rashford amongst them. Tarek Tissouli missed a glorious chance to level things up for PAOK just past the hour, but hit straight at Onana from less than 10 yards out. Ahmad, who was United's best player all night, got his second with 13 minutes left with a fantastic goal. He closed down a defender, won the ball, held onto it and curled home with the aid of a slight deflection. Rashford almost got a third in added time, but it mattered little, as United closed out for a crucial 3 points ahead of Ruben Amorim's arrival. Ajax put on 5-star show. Scorers, Traore 14, Taylor 27, Godtes 39, Robbie 61, Fitzjim 69. Ajax continued their fine Europa League form with an utterly dominant 5-0 win against Maccabi Tel Aviv at the Johan Cruyff Arena. The Dutch Giants needed just 14 minutes to take the lead through Bertrand Traore, but it was all about the work of Brian Brobby. The big striker got past his man, and tapped the ball across the box for the winger to finish from close range. Maccabi thought they had equalized just 5 minutes later, but Elad Madman's goal was disallowed. Brobby played a hand in Ajax's second just before the half hour, flicking the ball into the path of Kenneth Taylor to finish off a lovely move. It was 3-6 minutes before halftime, Mika Godtes getting in on the act with a fine finish. The wide man cut inside before curling home. Brobby got the goal his all-round play deserved just after the hour mark, smashing in an indirect free kick. It was his first of the season, which the venom in the strike suggested. Kian Fitzjim got the fifth, taking down a lovely ball from substitute Steven Burgess and finishing smartly from inside the box to round off a perfect night. For Francesco Ferrioli's side, Osimhen the difference in Istanbul. Scorers Acton 6, Osimhen 32, 39, Lancashire 19, Solong 69. Victor Osimhen was at his brilliant best, scoring twice to help Galatasaray defeat Tottenham 3-2 at the Ram Stadium, and go top of the Europa League table. It was Yunus Akın, though, who gave Gala the lead after just 6 minutes with a simply stunning strike. The former Leicester loanee cracked a half volley past Fraser Forster after a free kick came his way on the edge of the box. Spurs equalized 13 minutes later, and it came from their young striker Will Lancashire, who picked a great time to score his first goal for the club. Archie Gray played a fine ball into Brennan Johnson, who side-footed it across the box for the 19-year-old to finish. The Turkish champions thought they had retaken the lead on the half hour, but Victor Osimhen was offside when he put the ball in the net. A minute later, the Nigerian striker did score though, finishing well after Spurs lost the ball in midfield. The on-loan Napoli man got another 6 minutes before halftime, stylishly tapping home a great Dries Mertens cross that the Spurs defense just did not deal with. Spurs night went from bad to worse on the hour mark, when Lancashire was dismissed for a second yellow. It summed up their frustration as Gala dominated. Dominic Solanke came off the bench to give his side a lifeline in the 69th minute, finishing well from Pedro Porro's cross. Dejan Kulusevski had a chance to grab a point for Spurs late on, but they fell to their first European loss of the season against a deserving Gala outfit. Roma's winless run stretches to 4. Scorers: McAllister 77, Mancini 62. The pressure on Ivan Juric only grew as his side were held to a 1-1 draw against Union Saint-Gilloise in Brussels. After a plodding first hour, Roma eventually took the lead in the 62nd minute through Gianluca Mancini, who beat the Union keeper to head home Lorenzo Pellegrini's cross. Union equalized with 13 minutes left, Kevin McAllister scoring with his own header from a corner, and were worthy of their point. Rangers fight back for draw in Athens. Scorers: El Kaabi 56, Desir 64. Rangers came from behind to earn a 1-1 draw with Europa Conference League champions Olympiacos in Athens. After a relatively even first half, Olympiacos took the lead 11 minutes after the breakthrough by El Kaabi. The Moroccan striker got the ball inside the box and had the time to turn and volley past Jack Butland. Rangers drew level just 8 minutes later, Cyril Desir showing brilliant feet before great composure to fire home. Philippe Clement's side could have taken all 3 points, but will likely be happy with a good away point. Camera with flash Oli scarf, AFP or licensors.
Okay, I'm out this time. I'm out. Have a look at Champion League. Ow. Champion League. Ow. Sawtooth. Oh my god. What have I done to myself? Drank too much alcohol, I bet. Champion League, how do I do that? It doesn't say the score against Bayern Munich, Benfica. Bayern Munich, Benfica. 1-0 Bayern Munich to Benfica. 2-5 Great Vena Cerza, Barcelona. 1-0 Sparta Prague versus Brest. PSG versus Atletico Madrid. PSG 1, Atletico Madrid 2. Inter Arsenal. Inter 1, Arsenal 0. Prayo 1, RB Raceburn. What was this thing that then it says Stuttgart 0, Atalanta 2, Bruges 1, Aston Villa 0. It's Aston Villa in the Champions League. Shakhtar Donetsk 2, Young Boys 1. What was this thing about? South Korea may review weapon ban in Ukraine. Also, North Korea had a tank that was advanced. North Korea is helping Russia fight Ukraine. Anyway, they got a tank that is way advanced. You got a bomb won't kill it. You're so stupid. Anyway, to the love. I love you. To the love, 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 love. I don't know, my tooth hurt. One of the back here on this side. This is the right side on the bottom. Ouch, ouch. Okay, I'm going on the love, 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 love. I'm intermixhector. I better go. Bye bye.